Hi guys, welcome to class. Today is all about backbending. We're going to do a lot of flow, that sort of thing. You might want a couple of yoga blocks to begin. If you've not got yoga blocks, like a rolled up blanket or towel would be really handy. So just go grab what you need. And then we're going to start lying down on our backs. Before we do, if you hit the like button, subscribe, comment and let me know what you would like in the future, that would be really helpful for me, thank you. Otherwise, we're going to get started on our backs. So we're actually going to start in a passive back bend. So either grab your towel and roll it up and then place it lengthways, kind of down the centre of your back, or grab your blocks and you're going to have one almost like a pillow, so kind of widthways round, and one lengthways round, kind of facing up your mat. Now the long one, either set it to highest height or middle height or lowest height, and from here, if you've never done it before, just start it on lowest and we can kind of go from there, but kind of bring the kind of just underneath your shoulder blades to the bottom of the back. Then you're lying down over the block, and the other block, either set it one height higher or the same as that block that's kind of down the length of your back, and then just cactus your arms out to the sides, so elbows bending at the elbows. Doesn't have to be a particular shape, but just kind of feeling that stretch across the front of the shoulders and that little lift of the chest. Knees could be bent, or you could drop your knees out to the sides. Whatever you feel comfortable today is good. And just starting by slowing down your breath, becoming a little bit more aware of it, a bit more mindful about it. We spend a lot of our day rushing and moving quickly from thing to thing. So can you just take a second before we start to tune into yourself a little bit more? We miss a lot of stuff when we rush. What can you feel when you slow down? With every inhale, imagine that you could expand your chest a little bit more. You could elevate the chest, elevate the ribs. And with every exhale, could you melt around your block a bit more? Maybe there's a heaviness down through the elbows and through the backs of the hands. And keep the neck nice and soft, so your head is heavy. And take one more full breath in here. Take a long, long exhale. And then just gently roll over onto your left hand side so that you can pop the blocks out of the way, or your blanket out of the way, and then come back to lying on your back. When you get there, bring your heels up towards your bum. Roll your shoulders back and down like you're trying to lift your chest, but find a counter movement by tucking your tailbone, almost flattening your lower back to the ground. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, press into the soles of the feet, pick up the hips in one piece. And then inhale to roll piece by piece all the way back down. Exhale to drive and lift. And press into the feet, feel the backs of the legs work as you lift and extend your hips, and then slowly roll all the way back down. Two more. Exhale to lift. Roll into the shoulders, the feet. Inhale to lower down. Exhale, press and lift. Hold it here this time. Pull your shoulders towards your heels towards your shoulders. Squeeze your upper arms together underneath you. Keep your chin away from your chest. Press into the feet, lift the hips up. One more inhale. And then slowly roll. Vertebra by vertebra all the way back down. And bring your knees in towards your chest. And just roll yourself over onto your left hand side. Now you can bring a block or your blanket in between your knees here to keep you a bit more honest, but that's just an option, you definitely don't have to. Reach your arms out in front of you, bring your palms together, and then as you inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky and then all the way over to the right. Don't worry about that right shoulder finding the ground. Instead, I really want you to keep the knees together. And then exhale to close it back off. Inhale to open up. Reach that right hand up and away. And then exhale to close back off. One more, inhale to open up. And keep reaching through the right fingers, reaching through the left fingers. Find a heaviness through the back of the right arm and the right hand. And keep squeezing knee into knee. Take one more inhale. Bit heavier on the exhale, and then close it all the way back off. Roll yourself onto your back and then onto your right hand side. So again, fingers going to reach out in front of you. If you want to have that block in between your knees to keep them squeezing together rather than letting that left hip kind of slip back, then do. Inhale, left arm opens. Keep pressing the right hand down, reach through the left fingers, and then exhale to close it back off. Inhale, left arm opens. Reach through the fingers, find that length, exhale to close it back off. Last one, inhale to open, this time we stay. Find heaviness through both shoulders. Length through both arms. Keep squeezing knee into knee, keep the core nice and strong. Take one more inhale, can you find more length? One more exhale, can you find more heaviness? And then close it all the way back off. Good, roll yourself onto your back. Draw your knees back in towards your chest, and then take a couple of rock and rolls. I know that some of us can make it their first time, but just take a few. Kind of roll through the spine, maybe challenge yourself to slow down. And then the next time that you come all the way up to seated, do and keep going. We're going to come over to hands and knees. So when you get to hands and knees, just bring your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and start with a few gentle circles round. So you're just warming up into your wrists. If this is the first thing that you've done on your hands today, then ease in, take time. There's absolutely no rush to do anything. If you want to pause the video and go a little bit slower and take some more time to warm up your wrist, then you can. Just go in the opposite direction if you've not done so already. If you feel like you're starting to get a little bit warmer and you want to make your circles a bit bigger, then do. Keep pushing the ground away with the palms so you're not sinking down into the shoulders, you're not hunching into the neck. Keep pressing. And then just come all the way back to center, push into your left hand, press into the knees, inhale, right arm comes up by the ear. And then as you exhale, keep everything else as still as you can, so really nice and strong. Press through the feet, the knees, the hand. Circle your right arm up and behind, big arm circle until your right fingertips face towards your right knee. Soften your elbows. If that hand needs to face a bit more of a diagonal or to the side because this feels a bit funky on your wrist, that's totally fine. As you inhale, soften your elbows, begin to lift the tailbone, drop the belly, pull your chest forward and look up, cow pose. Exhale, press into the hands, the feet, slip belly up towards the spine as you round cat. Inhale, lift the tailbone, soften your elbows, pull your chest forward, look up. Exhale, press and round. Last one, inhale, lift the tailbone. Cinch in the waist, pull the chest forward and look up. And as you exhale, push into the feet, front body to back body, and round your spine. Inhale, pull the chest forward, press into the left hand, we're going to reverse. So right hand reaches back towards the hip, everything stays strong, big circle, and then right hand lands alongside left. Same on the other side. Everything is strong, take a breath in, left arm up by the ear. Press into both knees, press into the right hand, the tops of the feet, and then big arm circle as the arm spins in its socket and fingertips face towards the knees. The 3 cat-cows, more of a diagonal with the left hand if you need a little bit, kind of something a bit softer. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Exhale, round, push into the feet. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Lift the tailbone, soften the elbows, pull the shoulders back wide through your collarbones. Exhale, press and round. Can you push? Can you round? Can you fill the space between your shoulder blades? Last one, inhale, lift. Soften your elbows, pull your chest through your arms, and then as you exhale, press and round. Inhale to find that length again. Push into the right hand, the tops of the feet, the knees, left hand come back by the hip. Find that big arm circle until your hands face forward again. Tuck your toes. Sit your weight back onto your heels, intense toe stretch or toes pose. from here, squeeze your inner ankles together. Try not to kind of lean forward and out of it. See if you can stack your shoulders over your hips, find a little tuck in the tailbone, reach through the crown of the head. Make sure your little toes are cooperating. And then inhale, take your arms to the sky. Reach through the fingers, squeeze the inner thighs. Lift up through the chest, through the crown of the head. As you exhale, begin to cactus your arms. Squeeze your elbows back towards your hips. Imagine that you have weights on your hands as if they're tilting up towards the sky. Can you take one more breath in, press through the feet. And then exhale, pull hands to heart center. Go again, inhale, arms to the sky. Reach through the feet, reach through the fingers. As you exhale, cactus your arms, spread your fingers wide as if you're exaggerating this whole movement. Can you lift up through the chest as if you're elevating the ribcage and slipping the shoulder blades underneath you? Take one more breath in and then exhale, pull hands to heart center. You've got one more. Inhale, arms to the sky. As you exhale, begin to pull your elbows back. Squeeze your elbows in. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. Find that weight in the hands, that lift of the chest. Hold for 3. Press into the feet for 2. On 1, draw everything back in. Walk your hands forward. Just tap the tops of the toes on the ground if they tend to feel a little bit tight when you do that. And then tuck your toes and find your first downward facing dog. Take a wiggle. Bend a knee, straighten a leg. And again, if this is the first time that you've come into this shape and you want to take a little bit more time to ease your way into your body, into your hamstrings, the backs of the legs, then feel free. Pause the video and take all the time that you need. Okay, soften your knees. Find some stillness. Pull your hips back in space, as if you're pushing into the hands to bring more weight into the feet. Find some length as you reach the crown of the head towards your fingertips. Let your ears come by your biceps, but can you draw the front ribs in rather than sinking down into the shoulders? Take a full breath in. Push the floor away, full breath out. Full breath in. Push the floor away, but as you do, begin to walk your hands back towards your feet at the back of your mat. Find some softness in your knees. Maybe even wiggle your feet a little bit wider. We're going to come into a ragdoll. You've got a couple of options. Either kind of normal ragdoll, hold on to opposite elbows, a little sway from side to side. Or just being aware that we're coming into some back bending today and you want to open up the shoulders a little bit. Roll the arms back behind you, so squeeze the shoulder blades together like we did in that cactus. And then extend your arms up to the sky. Keep that squeeze, soften the elbows, interlace your fingers behind your back. Keep that bend in the knees like you could fold yourself in one piece. And then begin to extend the arms up and overhead. Roll the shoulders back as you do. Keep a micro bend in the elbows. Keep squeezing the upper arms together. With every exhale, find that weight in the hands again, that heaviness in your hands. Keep reaching through the crown of the head, keep breathing. Maybe every inhale, you kind of bop up a little bit, you lengthen, you push the ground away. Maybe with every exhale, you sink in, you soften your knees, you let your chest fall, your hands be heavier. And one more like that, inhale. Sink in, exhale. Good. Gently unravel your fingers if they're interlaced. Let the hands circle all the way down towards the floor and then come forward again. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the tiptoes. Exhale, push into your hands, bend your knees. Find that kind of chest to thigh compression. As you inhale, push off of your legs, lift your hips and begin to ripple and round. Come all the way forward to plank pose. Send your heels back, your heart forward, and then soften your knees. Push into your hands, begin to send your chest towards your thighs, your back in your starting position. One more. Inhale, begin to round forward. Lengthen the legs, push up for the feet, lift the hips, lift the spine, roll, come all the way forward, plank, soften the knees and glide all the way back. Downward facing dog, inhale, tiptoes. This time, exhale, drop your heels to the left, your toes to the right, press into the hands, same bend in the knees, but that lengthening will come all the way through the right hand side. As you sink your hips low, can you reach those right fingertips a bit further forward? Find more length through the right. Full breath in. Exhale, bend the knees a little bit more, load the legs more. This time as you inhale, push off the legs, come forward, side plank, right arm reaches overhead as it becomes light. Push out of the left fingers, arc the spine. Can you curl, crunch that left side as you find more length through the right? Take one more breath in. Exhale, bend both knees as you press into the left hand, right hand lands. Come through center, inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels to the right, toes to the left. Bend the knees, press into your hands, load those legs. Keep the hips high as you press your chest towards your thigh, and maybe left fingertips creep further forward to find more length through the left. Keep pushing into the arms, breathing into the ribs. Take another big breath in. As you exhale, bend the knees a bit deeper, load your legs more, and then inhale, spurring off the legs, come forward. Weight comes into the right hand as left arm comes overhead. Good, compress the right side more. Press out of the right hand, draw right ribs to right hip as you lengthen more into the left hand side. Reach through the left fingers, lift the left rib cage, take an inhale. Exhale, push into the right hand as you bend your knees. Land the left hand and come to center, downward facing dog. Inhale, both heels rise. As you exhale, bend your knees and then ripple forward, come forward, plank pose. When you get there, stay for the inhale. And then exhale, lower for 3. Nice and controlled, press the ground away. You can drop your knees if you need to for 2. 1, find your belly, good. Bring those fingertips out wide off of your mat. Spike your elbows up towards the sky. Push down through the tops of the feet. Press down through the hips, slide, tucking your tailbone, glutes are on. As you inhale, keep chin to chest as you round the upper back and lift away from the ground. As you exhale, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, the elbows down and roll all the way back down. Rolling cobra, you've got 2 more. Chin to chest, lift, inhale. Exhale, roll everything back, shoulders, elbows, and roll all the way back down. 1 more, inhale to lift. Front body draws to back body, keep the core nice and strong, legs strong, shoulders back, lift your chest, and roll all the way back down. Good, bring your hands by your rib cage, tuck your toes, and come to hands and knees. From here, we're going to come into a puppy dog pose, so just walk your hands forward 1 step. Maybe you sink your bum back and you let your head drop between your arms, and that's enough, especially for this first one. But if you know you've got more space here and you want to walk your hands a bit further forward, maybe elbows find the ground, maybe chest finds the ground. Either way, can you wrap the outside edges of your arms down, maybe even giving the sky a thumbs up? Can you pull your arm bones back into their sockets? Slightly tuck your tailbone as if you're trying to turn your glutes on, so that this drop comes from that space between the shoulder blades. And can you find some more length through the sides of the waist, through the lats, kind of just below the armpits? Can you keep the feet strong, the breath strong? 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Good, press into the hands, so find some strength here. Press into the hands, press into the arms, pick up the elbows, and then walk your hands back 1 step. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, find tiptoes, we've been here before. Exhale, push into your hands, bend your knees. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, shoulders back. This time, keep the feet strong, tailbone tucked. Pull the chest through, but hover the hand. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees, heels to the left, toes to the right. As you inhale, come forward, find your side plank. And then exhale, draw your right knee up. So bend the right knee. Now you can use your right hand to hold onto your right knee. Maybe it's knee to chest, maybe it's knee up towards the sky. Keep pressing into that left hand, find that compression, that crunch through the left hand side as you lift more into the right. Push into the left toes, the left hand, take 1 more inhale. Exhale, again, you can use the right hand if you need to. Right foot steps to the top of your mat. Drop down your left knee, low lunge, inhale, arms to the sky. Pull your feet together underneath you. Draw front body to back body. Find that kind of play between sinking forward, but also not finding a huge big back bend here. So you've got this pull through the left hip. So tucking the tailbone, find some strength. Draw the legs together, and then reach through the fingers, lift the chest up. One more inhale. Exhale, halfway split, but no hands if you can help it. So begin to push your left foot away from you as you curl from the hips, break at the hips, draw your toes towards you like you're pulling that right leg bone back into its socket, and send your chest towards your toes. Stay for the inhale, push the floor away. Exhale, bend the front knee, tuck the back toe under, raise the left knee, arms to the sky, high lunge. Settle in a little bit. Heavy hips. Pull the feet together. Keep that slight tuck of your tailbone, so that kind of even neutral spine, and then begin to send your left heel back. One more inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Level all the way down to your belly. Inhale, shoulders back. Pull the chest through, keep the pull, hover the hands. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels to the right, toes to the left, bend your knees. As you inhale, come forward, side plank, left arm up and over by your ear. Exhale, push into the ground, slope up that left leg. Left hand finds left knee for this first one. Now crunch into that right hand side as you draw that left knee, maybe into the chest, maybe slightly out to the side. Can you keep pushing into the right hand? Keep lifting into the left rib cage. One more breath in. Exhale, left hand can help if you need to. Step to the top of your mat. Drop down your right knee. Arms to the sky, low lunge. Pull your feet together underneath you. Squeeze the inner thighs as you push out of the ground rather than sinking in. Can you find that play between, yes, flexibility, but also strength? Side tuck in the tailbone, front body in. Extend through the fingers, lift the chest. One more inhale. Exhale, no hands. If you can help it, if you need them, that's okay. Halfway split. Left leg goes straight-ish. Left toes lift, break at the hips, begin to hinge forward. Lift the tailbone back behind you and then draw that left leg bone back into its socket. Keep all this length, this strength, push down into the left heel. One more inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee, arms to the sky. Inhale, high lunge. Sink the hips, exhale. Soften the back knee, find that neutral pelvis. Then begin to send the right heel back. But keep that spine nice and straight, nice and strong. Take another breath in. Exhale, plant the hands and step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, come forward. Plank pose and lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, shoulders roll back. This time, legs hover, arms reach back towards your toes. Full Salabhasana. Find length, skim the earth. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels to the left, toes to the right, bend the knees. As you push off your legs, come forward, side plank. Right knee lifts, maybe this time no hands, but if you need to use your hand to support you, feel free. Press into the left hand, extend through that right knee, push out of the left foot, crunch the left side, inhale. Again, hands if you need them, step the right foot forward to the top of your mat. Drop down your left knee, arms to the sky, inhale, low lunge. A little bit faster this time, exhale, no hands, halfway split. Bum back, chest forward, toes towards the sky. As you inhale, come forward, right knee bends, arms to the sky, high lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Tiptoes, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Knees down if you need to, lower all the way to your belly. Shoulders roll back, inhale, lift the legs, fingers towards toes. Spin the palms so they face down, little fingers so they face in. Skim the earth. Plant the hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels to the right, toes to the left, push into the hands, bend the knees. As you inhale, come forward, side plank, left knee lifts. You can use your hand if you need to, otherwise no hands, push out of that right foot. curl through the right hand side like you're drawing right ribs to left hip. Right hip, sorry. Lift into that left knee, one more breath in. Exhale, hands if you need to, left foot steps to the top of your mat. Drop down your right knee, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, halfway split, push the floor away, left toes lift. Send the chest towards the left thigh. Inhale, left knee bends, arms to the sky, high lunge. Exhale, land your hands and step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift to tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, come forward, plank pose, and lower all the way down to your belly. Salabhasana, you know where we're going. Inhale, chest lifts, arms lift, legs lift. Spin the palms so they face down, skim the earth, find length. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Last one like this. Inhale, lift to tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees, heels to the left, toes to the right. As you inhale, come forward, side plank, right leg lifts, knee to chest, maybe hand if you need to, stay for the inhale. This time, exhale, begin to slowly step that right foot behind your left leg in a wild thing. Soften both knees for a second, and then push out of the feet as you lift your hips and your right arm up and overhead. Keep a tuck in the tailbone, screw that left arm bone onto your back like you're spinning your left bicep towards the front of the room. Keep lifting into the chest. Take one more inhale, push out of the ground. As you exhale, bend both knees a little bit, load that left leg again, pick up the right knee, hands if you need to, step to the top of your mat. Drop down your left knee. Low lunge, arms to the sky, inhale. Exhale, no hands, halfway split, toes to the sky. As you inhale, come forward, tuck the back toes, high lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, come forward, plank pose, knees down, chest down, or one straight line. Inhale, shoulders back. Lift the legs, fingers reach to toes, Salabhasana, skim the earth. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, heels to the right, toes to the left, bend your knees. As you inhale, come forward, find your side plank, push into that right hand, pick up the left knee, hands if you need to. Slow motion, left toes begin to chase that right wrist and step behind. Soften both knees to load the legs and then inhale, shoot up. Wild thing, left arm up and overhead. Reach the left fingertips towards the top of your mat. Keep pressing into your feet, tuck your tailbone as if you can use those glutes to extend the hips a bit more. Screw that right arm bone onto your back as you spin right bicep forward. One more breath in. Exhale, bend both knees again, load the legs, and then pick up the left leg. Hands to help if you need. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Right knee drops, arms to the sky, inhale. Exhale, halfway split, left leg straightish. Hands wherever you need to balance. Inhale, come forward. Right knee lifts, arms to the sky, high lunge. Exhale, plant the hands and step back. Take a full breath in. Soften the knees, take a full breath out. And one more full breath in. Full breath out. And your inhale, lift to tiptoes. As you exhale, bend your knees, but this time begin to come forward and back to hands and knees. We're going to come back into puppy dog pose. But this time, you have the option to bring in blocks. If you've not got any, don't worry. I want you to just do it exactly as you have been doing before. If you have got blocks, bring them to either medium height or highest height, or lowest height if that's working for you right now. I want you to bring your elbows onto your blocks. Bring your palms together, and then begin to let your head drop down in between your arms. If you've not got blocks, usual puppy dog, so arms out in front, bowing down as we did right at the start. If you've got your blocks, begin to draw your thumbs towards the base of your neck. And draw the front ribs in as we did before. And let the head drop down in between your arms, kind of feeling a strong stretch through the outer edges of the armpits, maybe into the triceps. And breathe nice and slow. After all of that strength and all of that movement, can you Embrace the slow pace. One more breath in. One more breath out. And find a little bit more heaviness. One last little wiggle. And then if you're on your blocks, press into your elbows. If you're on your hands, press into your hands, but come all the way back up. If you've got your blocks, pop them to the side. And then come down to your belly again. We're going to come back into Salabhasana, but we're going to begin to explore it in a slightly different way. If hands reaching back behind you is enough, I want you to just continue with that. If you'd rather just keep the hands on the ground for these like baby cobras because you're kind of done with back bending, again, totally fine. Otherwise, we're going to do Salabhasana with interlaced fingers. So I want you to bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, one way or the other, but just take note because we're going to do it the other way in a second. Press the heel of your hands together as we did right at the start. Squeeze your elbows, so bend your elbows and then squeeze them together like you're rolling your shoulders onto your back body. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, get rid of all the air. And then on your next inhale, lift the legs, lift the chest, and then begin to reach your fingertips back behind you as if they could propel you forward. Keep that softness through the elbows, that squeeze of the upper arms. Can you lift your thumbs off of your bum? Can you think about length as you push your toes back, your chest forward? Press the hips down and hold for 3. For 2. On 1, release and rest on one cheek or the other. Let your hands drop down. Purposefully slow down your breath. And then come back to center and we're gonna add on. If it was enough, just stay. Or never feel the pressure to add on in any way that doesn't feel right to you. Interlace your fingers behind you, this time the other way around, so the way around that potentially feels a little bit on. Squeeze the heel of your hands together, soften your elbows. Exhale out all your air. On your next inhale, begin to lift. Roll your shoulders back, pull your fingertips towards your toes, lift your legs, lift your chest. This time, your option to add on is to bend your knees. I want you to imagine that you could reach your arms through your legs rather than lifting your legs higher. Can you lift the knees slightly? Still think about skimming the earth, so push your knees back. Soften your elbows. Can you pull your hands through your toes, holding for a final 3? Remember to breathe, widen the collarbones for 2. And then 1, lower down, release the hands, let your gaze over to the right. Maybe find a gentle wiggle in your hips if that feels nice. Full breath in. Long breath out. Okay, last one. This time we're going to come into a variation of bow pose. If anything feels funny, feel free to stay with every level or just miss out this last one. Lay on your belly, rest for a little while longer. Okay, so slightly different variation of bow pose in that we're going to really drive through the legs. We've done a lot of using our legs today and we're going to continue with that. So we need to flex your feet and draw your heels towards your bum actively, so feel your hamstrings, the backs of your legs turn on. Bring your hands, if you can reach, underneath your ankles. Now, if you can't reach, you can either grab a towel or a blanket and kind of bring it either side, or a yoga strap. But you kind of, either way, the grip is more around your ankle, so you've got the flex of the foot, that strength in your legs. Okay, soften your elbows, take an inhale, exhale out all the air. On your next inhale, begin to lift. We're lifting the chest. So begin to drive your legs back behind you, keep your thighs on the floor. Soften your elbows, squeeze your upper arms together, use the strength of your legs to propel your chest forward. Imagine that you could lift from that belly, so you're lengthening the belly, you're lifting the ribcage. Widen the collarbones even here. Can you use the strength of your legs? Can you reach to the crown of the head, not cranking at the neck? Neutral spine. Then, maybe, keeping all of that, maybe the thighs begin to lift, but only slightly, not hinging forward. Keep pressing the pelvis down. Lift the ribs, hold for 3. Shoulders back, squeeze the elbows, the shoulder blades for 2. And then on 1, don't just pin yourself down. Let your thighs drop. Slowly lower down your chest, your belly, then release your legs. Bring your hands out in front, one on top of the other. Take a second with your forehead on your hands, maybe a little wiggle at the hips from side to side. If you want a little bit more, you can bend your knees, windscreen up your legs from side to side. Your shoulders soften down your back. Full breath in. Full breath out. And bring your hands by your ribs and come into a child's pose. This can be a wide one or a close supported one. You could have your arms forward, you could have your arms back, or kind of hugging yourself in. Just staying kind of insular for just a moment more. And then when you're ready, keep walking your hands back towards you, but come all the way to kneeling. Bring your palms so they face up, roll your shoulders back and down. Press into the tops of the feet, reach through the crown of the head. Relax your jaw, your face. And again, take a few breaths. Maybe eyes are closed. Just being aware of where you are in space. Can you stack your shoulders over your hips? Your ears over your shoulders? If you've been kneeling for long enough, or you've had your legs bent for long enough and you want to sit on your bum or a block, that's fine. But after all of the effort, what does ease look like? Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. And when you're ready, bring one hand to the side, bring yourself onto your bottom, bring your legs round. Feet out in front, just bent knees, arms forward, inhale. If someone's got hold of your hands, exhale slowly. Roll down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees knock out to the sides. Bring one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your heart. Slightly tuck your tailbone like you're trying to flatten your lower back into the earth rather than finding a back bend. You might be more susceptible to that after finding that space. So slurp it down. Take a few more breaths. And then if you've got time for a full Shavasana, take one. If you don't worry about it. But just take 5 mindful breaths here as a way to seal your practice, to finish, to say, I have time for me before you go around the rest of your day. Either way, thank you for practicing with me. Enjoy the rest of your day.